Hello, and welcome to Iron Bow Healthcare Solutions. My name is Richard Grace, and for the next several minutes, we'd like to talk to you about grants and vertical market products. And by vertical market products, we mean telemedicine and/or distance learning solutions. We've broken today's segment into two different parts. The first is going to be a quick discussion on grants, and the second part will be on some of the solutions you see behind me. We'll take a little field trip through the room. The grants section, we're happy to have today the Director of Grants at Polycom, Cheryl Henshaw. Now, Cheryl is a leading expert in grants and, more importantly, in winning grants. She's going to take you and do some general thoughts about grants and vertical markets, products, again, healthcare and distance education. She's then going to drive down a little bit into specific thoughts on RUS and DLT and wrap up with some final little thoughts again on scoring within RUS and DLT. We think you'll find that very interesting. Hang on after that. I'm then going to show you some very exciting products that you can build into these grant programs. So with that, take it away, Cheryl.
Thanks so much for that introduction, Rich. And I'm really excited to talk to you about this topic today because it's something not a lot of people think about, but can be very important to your grant. So I often say that vertical products and grants go together like peas and carrots. Grants are scored, in most cases, based on need and the ways that your project will specifically address that need. Your budget request is a blueprint for your project. So the items requested in your budget should directly support your project. And specificity is always key. The budget narrative is a justification for what you're requesting. Why are these items necessary? How will they address the need that you've just described? And then how are those items going to lead to very specific benefits and outcomes? The RUS DLT, or Distance Learning and Telemedicine grant through the United States Department of Agriculture, is coming out very soon. In fact, we think it should be released within the next 3 to 4 weeks. The DLT program is unique in that there is no budget narrative. So I've just talked to you about how federal grants require a budget narrative, and here's my first example where there isn't one, except there really is. The DLT grant requires a telecom plan, but what they don't tell people is this is really your budget narrative, right? So you are required in this section to describe each budget line item in detail and discuss how it relates specifically to the distance learning or telemedicine project that you've just proposed. So it's very, very detailed, much more detailed, in fact, than a lot of other federal budget narratives. The telecom plan does not receive a score. So a lot of people think, oh, I don't need to put a lot of work into this section. That would be a wrong assumption. The telecom plan, even though it's unscored, can make or break your application. It's one of the very first things that's reviewed, and it's printed out and laid side by side with your budget, and it really has to align completely. And if you're missing detail about budget line items and you don't do a thorough job of discussing, again, how it relates specifically to your project, they can remove those items from your budget entirely. They could toss your grant out if they wanted to. So it's a really important section. And while this section doesn't receive a score, it absolutely can influence the other sections. So it can influence your subjective scoring sections. Vertical specificity helps justify the products that you're requesting. So it helps, again, paint that picture. DLT grant scoring is broken into 3 components: your objective scores, which are your rurality, your poverty, your special consideration, and your leverage or match. Those are things you know. Those are points you have when you apply. You know exactly what it is that you should be receiving. You then have your subjective scores, your needs and benefits section, your innovation, and your cost effectiveness. And then you have some unscored sections, your executive summary, your budget and telecom plan, your statement of experience, and financial information and sustainability. So even though these unscored sections obviously don't receive a score, right? Your budget and telecom plan, and actually the other sections, but specifically your budget and telecom plan, absolutely can have an impact, both positive or negative, on those other subjective scoring sections. So I always kind of describe it like this. The onus is on you to paint a vivid mental picture in your telecom plan or your budget narrative, right? So let's take this example. Let's say you have a telehealth project, and in your budget you line item like, Polycom Group 500 codec, right? Just a standard video codec, right? The same thing you might find in a corporate boardroom. it takes a little bit of a leap on the part of the reviewer to go, well, how is that going to address a telehealth scenario, as opposed to putting in something that looks like it belongs in a healthcare environment, right? Like a telehealth cart, where you could connect scopes, where it's easy to kind of paint that picture and say, oh, I can see this being used for remote consultation and diagnosis, or to deliver patient imaging, that sort of thing. So the more specific you are to the environment you're addressing, the easier it is for the reviewers to kind of understand what you're requesting and the impact it's going to have on your project. So I'm the director of the Polycom Grants Assistance Program. We have years and years of experience, not only just with the RUS DLT grant, but other grant programs as well. So we are a completely free resource provided by Polycom. And if you're interested in the DLT grant or any other grant, or you have questions, feel free to contact us at grants@polycom.com. Conversely, Rich will also have a slide at the end of his presentation, and you're welcome to get in contact with us through Rich. So thanks so much for inviting me today, and good luck with your future grant projects.
Thanks very much for that, Cheryl. Interesting stuff. And again, reminder, folks, everything from Polycom as far as the grants assistance and so forth, absolutely free to you. With that, let's move on to solutions now. And in order to do that, I want to show you 3 products from Polycom. The one on the left is the EduCart 500, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. In the middle, the Utility Cart 500, and we have that unit here in our demo suite, and we will show you that in just a moment as well. The one on the right is the Video Protect 500, and the Video Protect 500 comes with a hardened shield and is designed anytime you need to use video conferencing with the public. And what I mean by that, it might sit in the back area of a school where you need access into a door. It may sit in the hallway of a healthcare hospital where you need a doctor or somebody to be able to pick up that handset and automatically launch a call. So the Video Protect 500, a very unique product. Let me move now to the EduCart 500. And to do that, I want to really just show you all the different variables that can come with this system. When you think EduCart 500, think of CME, continuing medical education, or a wellness type education program. Maybe you want to bring in a guest speaker and you want to use it for larger audiences and so forth. It does come with a 55-inch monitor, which has 3 adjustable heights. It's also very mobile and rugged, so it will last for years and years. And one of my favorite part is it actually has handles on it, so you don't grab the monitor when you move it, and all the electronics in the rear of the unit are secured. It also comes with a large 50-watt speaker system, so everybody in the room is going to be able to hear just fine. So think of the there I did it again, the EduCart 500 when you're thinking about distance education applications. With that, let's move over to the Utility Cart 500. And in this world, we're again another product brought to you by Polycom. I want you to think about things like school-based health, maybe a small group wellness application, maybe it's behavioral health. In this application, we've made everything completely mobile, so now I can take my video anywhere between the carpeted and the non-carpeted parts of the hospital. Features for this particular system, again, a very rugged product, comes with a single 27-inch or a dual 22-inch monitor. You can add PCs and scopes if you want to move into more of a clinical setting. But again, this is the UC or Utility Cart 500 from Polycom. In this final section, I'd like to talk to you about a very new dynamic product introduced by us, Ironbow. It is referred to as the Clinic. Now, behind the Clinic are 2 design criteria. One, it's designed so that the entire electronics package that normally you find in a telemedicine type cart is all housed behind one very high resolution 27-inch monitor. The second idea is an icon-driven panel. There is no controller utilized as there normally is in a cart-based solution by the codec manufacturer. In this world, we either answer the call or hang up the call. We have the capability to mute the video. We can have our PC or our scope easily with just one touch. We have the capability to zoom in or zoom out. This allows us to move the camera around, so pan tilt the camera. Here's our speaker in and out, our capability to mute, and then we also have the capability for our stethoscope and even headphones. Now they plug into these 3.5 millimeter jacks here. The idea is, again, it's an icon-driven panel. that allows you not to have to use, again, the manufacturer's remote clicker. So it makes it incredibly simple to use. So from a simplicity standpoint, flexibility, and affordability, the clinic is tough to beat. Let's walk you around the room and show you some of the applications, because what's behind the clinic is what's called a Visa mount. And in that world, we can easily attach to any cart we want to. In this case, a Rubbermaid capsa cart is holding our 27-inch clinic. We've also added our horoscope holder on the side, so we can have that capability. If you don't want to view the horoscope, it can also sit right behind the system as well. But again, this allows us to encapsulate the entire capability on whatever cart you would like. As we move across and we come over here, then we now see the clinic in a different setting. In this particular setting, we have it on an extendable arm. Again, it was nothing more than 4 screws into the system. And in this case, you see the box in the back. We would house PCs and things of that nature there. So again, a lot of different capabilities with the clinic in different applications as well. One of the last products I'd like to talk to you about is the Medic. So when you're thinking mobility in a healthcare setting, think the Medic. In this case, it comes with a Littman Bluetooth stethoscope. It has its own keyboard in here, which can either work within the system, or you have an extendable reach cord to get you farther. And then inside the Medic is, again, the GEDMed horoscope, along with a full-blown echo cancellation system and speaker. So again, if you want to think mobility in the healthcare world, think about the Medic. So with that, folks, think of these final solutions as a way to help your applications within that grant process. We hope you've enjoyed the video today. I'm going to put up one final slide here, which will be my contact information. And with that, again, thank you for joining us. Please give me a call or send me an email if you'd like some more information on either the equipment you've seen today or the grants information that Cheryl presented earlier. Thanks again.